Hello, welcome to another episode of House Modeling Tutorial in 3ds Max. So this is where we stopped in the last video, and I think I want to put a staircase here outside. Yes, I want to put that here. So let's draw a box. Let's say 5 by 5. That's fit. Height 0.5. Let's press the help button. Let's move it here. Okay, so now I see that 5 by 5 is small. So let me increase the length. So now, do I want it to extend to this point? Let me see the camera. Not sure. Top view. Still thinking. L. Okay, so there's a beam here, right? Okay, so there's a beam here, there's a beam here. Let's have this extend to the beam. So editable poly. This is the beam. Click this. I don't selected. So now I'm going to let this extend to the beam. Unhide all. Then I take this again. Editable poly. Yes. The reason I'm doing it this way is I want. Sorry, this is a column. This is a column. Now I want to put a beam underneath the staircase. So length 1.5, width 0.75, yeah, and then I bring it down like this. Top view, dragging it out this way. This should touch. Yes. Freeze selection, so I can select the beam. Yes, that's the beam. So the beam has I think it's 225 by I can't remember. I know it's 9 inches by 18 inches. Yeah, 225 by 450 mm. So editable poly. I'm working on the beam now. It's underneath the pink. Alright, I have frozen the pink. That's why it's appearing as gray now. So I'm working on the beam. That's the beam in blue. So shift and drag. So camera 1. Now you see. So now I'm going to take this one of the beams. I'm going to shift and drag, and I'm going to rotate 90 degrees. Sorry, it's on 90 already. I'm going to make it 0. So now I can unfreeze all. Oh, sorry, unfreeze all, and take this, hide it. I'm hiding the staircase. So let's move this way. Okay. So now I have beam forming the letter C. Then I take another one here. Good. Then this is not necessary. No. for the size of the staircase, it's not necessary. So unhide all. So what I have just done is I have created a beam for the stairs landing. The landing is the one in pink or purple. I'm not really good with such colors. So beams are carrying the stairs landing. I'm going to apply material later on. So here, now let's work on the stairs itself. So now I am going to come here. And the height will be 0.5. Sorry, the length in this case, because I'm not drawing. Okay, let's start over. Undo. Let me delete this top view. Okay, so now let me draw the step from here. Okay, so the height will be 0.5. That's 6 inches. The length would be, I think 16 inches is alright. 1.33. That's 12 inches plus 4 inches. 4 inches is 0.33 of a foot. So 1.33. That's it. So, and the width is 5 feet, approximately 5 feet. Yes, and that's alright. Need to be sure. Let's just make it 5 to be sure. 5. Yes. So now I needed to touch this and come this way. Yes. So hell. Then we move it upwards. So that this is the first. Sorry, the penultimate step. This is the first step before the landing, but it can't be here. It's going to be here. All right. This is the landing, the one in pink. So from here now, we have step, and then I hold the shift button. I'm holding the shift button now. Sorry, cancel. Holding the shift button, then I click this. Then I do this. I want to make sure you can see where I'm trying to get. Let me move it closer. Let me zoom in. All right. So you see what I'm trying to do. Hold the shift. Now don't select the red arrow. Don't select the green arrow. Select the box. That allows you to move on the Y and the X axis. Sorry, the Y and the Z axis. And then I do this. Now I can create many copies. Now, one thing I know is that my floor to ceiling height, my floor to floor height is 14 feet. If you check the old videos, you would know. So now I'm making one stair, 0.5 of a foot. So that naturally means that I'm going to need about 28 of this. It means 2 of this would make 1 foot. So now, just to be safe, I'm going to do 30 copies. And you see, there it is. So this is my number 30. So now I can delete number 31. This is number 31. You know, I had one originally, then I made 30. That makes 31. So let me delete 31. Let me delete 29. 30. Let me delete 29. Now I have 28. You can see. So let's see what it looks like. There it is. There it is. So it's quite easy to do. All right. I created the first step. I made it 16 inches. The run, if you're quite familiar with stairs creation, we have the rise and the run. The rise is one step to another by height. The run is one step to another by length or width. Sorry, by length. The width is standard for all the stairs. So where you place your step, where you place your foot is what you call the run. And that I made 16 inches. Now, from one run to another is what we call the rise. You know, when you move from one step, this is one step to another. So the distance between here and here is 6 inches, 0.5 foot. But this place to this place, which is where you place your foot, is 16 inches. Some people would, depending on where you have it, if it were, say, a walkway, maybe built around skyscraper, some of them have runs of about 4 feet, 3 feet, all right? hospitals, you could see runs of 2 feet, 3 feet, and then they would have a ramp beside it for a wheelchair. But I just think 16 inches is all right because the average man has a foot of between 8 inches and 11 inches. Some people have 12-inch foot, but it's quite uncommon. Maybe in the US where you have big people. So now 12-inch foot, which means if this were a foot, this place to this place, a 12-inch foot would rest comfortably on a 16-inch run. So I made the run 16 inches, and I made the rise 6 inches. That's why it's pretty long. So it's long, but it's quite comfortable to climb. You can run on it if, say, you forgot something upstairs or you're going downstairs. It's quite comfortable. A 6-inch rise is really comfortable. Now, what they often recommend is that the run and the rise combined should give about 18 inches, which means if you have a 6-inch rise, you should have about 12-inch run. But in this case, because it's a luxurious house, I just thought 12-inch run would be too small. So now I made it 16 inches. And there you have it. So, but we're not done. Let's press L. Now we're going to do something. I'm going to duplicate this, edit clone. Make sure it is on copy, not instance. Then I'm going to take this editable poly, then I'm going to take this two and I'm going to move them. Now we have created the shape. Now you see, this is what I just created. If I delete it now, you can see it's jagged. You can see it's jagged. So when I return it, there it is. Now, hell, I want to do something. Now I got about 39 here, which means that the stairs is about 40 feet long. So a 40 feet long stairs should have, except it's purely made of concrete, all right, maybe engineered and used, maybe they use pre-stressed concrete. The rebars are pre-stressed. It's going to sag. This distance is just too long and it's going to sag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a support 5 feet. Oh, sorry. 5. All right. L. A table poly. Now, I need to point out again, I think I've done that in the previous videos. I am a designer. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an architect. Now, I have designed this. A structural engineer can come up with a solution and say, okay, if we do it this way, that way, we're not going to need this. I'm using the knowledge I have garnered over the years to design it such that I am quite confident it will hold. Now, such a design would not be approved if it was not evaluated by a structural engineer. So I'm not just going to send this to a client and say, you know what, I've built you a house. No, it doesn't work like that. A structural engineer will have to see what I have done and maybe guide me and say, you know what, let's take these things out. Let's introduce a beam this way. and it will work. All right, now this is just one way to do it. Now I have created bricks so the stairs will not sag. But another way to do it, based on the knowledge I have garnered over the years, is this beam. Let's delete this, delete this. Let's take one of these beams that we created. Sorry, hold shift and drag. So we're cloning, make sure it's on copy and not on instance. And then we would introduce these beams this way. So the beams would go up like this. Instead of having this small one that I created, so the beams would be like this. All right, and then you take this and then you bring down. They would have to build a formwork for this. So let's see what this looks like. Yes. Now you can see that there is F button, hide. Oh, sorry. Hide selection. So this is the beam. So I duplicate it. Now, this looks more like it. This looks more, based on the knowledge I've garnered, this looks more like what a structural engineer would draw, all right, for a stairs like this. So we have the beam. They are going to carry the stairs. All right. These beams would have maybe pre-stressed concrete, sorry, pre-stressed rebar. It will be made of pre-stressed concrete or even a regular concrete, as long as they're using a structural engineer will do the calculations, tell you the size of rebar to use. But this will be made with concrete. This will be made with concrete. All right. That way, you can rest assured that it will carry it. Now let's add a bit of a twist. So I have one here. Then this one, I'm going to let this, I'm going to give a gap of about 6 inches just for aesthetics. So let's say let's say 9 inches, 0.75, sorry, 0.75. This is how I measure. All right, I just draw a box of a certain size and I use that as a guide when I'm measuring. So now what I want to do is, I don't need this box I'm drawing. I just need it as a guide for something. So let me move it forward. F. So now I move this beam this way. And what have I done? Edge faces. Let's try the clay mode. Now you can see that, I hope you can see it. The stairs, the edge of the stairs are visible. The beam has receded 9 inches into the back. That's what I tried to achieve there. So the beam is not, let me freeze this. Freeze. So this is the beam now, you can see. Before, the beam was here. It flushed with the stairs. But now, it has receded. So the idea is just to let the jagged edges of the staircase be visible. It's just aesthetics, that's all. I'm sure most structural engineers will, in fact, prefer that the beam is flush. All right, so because right now I've just created a 9-inch cantilever on all the stairs, 9-inch cantilever. So even all of this would need to have rebars in them. They would all be made of concrete. They would all need to be made of concrete. They could be prefabricated concrete such that the stairs are built separately and then they are placed on the beams one after the other. That's possible. All right. They would build the stairs one after the other. All right. They would just isolate this, say take something like this. All right, they would build this separately. This one separately, build 30 of them separately. They would construct these beams, link them to the stairs landing, and then they would place this one after the other. That's also doable. I've seen that. I've seen that done. I think in India, and it was really nice. So you can build all this, create a wooden formwork of all of this, and pour your concrete inside, or you can build this individually. But these beams, I'm almost certain that these beams would have to be built in situ, on location, on site, just where it should be. So they would have to build a formwork for this beam one, sorry, this beam, and then this four. So this can be built separately. The stair landing can also be built separately and then placed with a crane on this. So let's go back to default shading. So let's apply material. Now, I think it would be nice to cover L. Should I cover the base? The base of the stairs now, I'm thinking. Sorry, like I said, I'm just drawing this as it comes. There's no 2D plan I'm following. So I'm just thinking now for aesthetics, should I cover it? Yes, I think it would be nice to cover it. So let's take this. I'm duplicating now. Let's move it, make it so tiny. Yes. Then top view. Okay, so let's go to left view. Shift I don't selected. Good. So now this, it's going to be hard to select. So I'm going to take this in, copy the X values, Control A, Control C, Control A, Control V. Yes. So on idle L, now I'm going to move this inward. For now, let's just give it white, regular white. Okay, so it still needs to go in a bit. So I don't select it. I'm going to select it, top view, select the vertices here, and then take it in. See, yes, on hide all. So now this may not be visible here. Let me see. What I have done is this place is now covered. You can see it's now covered. So you can't really see the beams, but they are there. This will be covered with, could be cement board. All right, depends if it's, yeah, could be cement board, and then they would screed with emulsion and white powder, and then they would get this very smooth white finish. So that's just what I've done. So I'm going to cover this one too, just like I covered this. And let's just select this hide unselected. Let's go to bottom view. This is bottom view. So now I'm going to draw a box. The thickness should be small, say 0.02. Yes, editable poly. You can see I'm not letting it get to the very edge. So It's not a perfect flush. It's deliberate. So this is a, let's say, stair landing ceiling. Then let's go, this is selecting this, let's press the hell view. It's going in. Yes. So on hide all, camera view. Let's give it a white as well. Let's I think we should render, see what we've done so far. Render setup. Come on. Just pick something small so that it won't take too long. Okay. So the ones in blue are the beam, the one in purple or pink is the stair landing, the ones in white, they're the stairs, and this in gray, they are the ceiling. They just cover the base of this one. So I think I'm going to extend this way and this way, so it will look like this. So stop. Now I'm going to select this guy, and let's say this, just for I don't selected top view. Now I'm going to select OK. So this is the stair ceiling. Sorry, the bottom of the stairs itself, I created the white ceiling. So now it did not get to where it should, so that I'm letting it go through the wall. This is just an aluminum panel that I'm using for reference. I don't need it for anything else other than for reference. I just need to stretch this ceiling to make sure it touches it. That's why I have this there. Good. Now I'm going to stretch the ceiling this way too. Yes. And I think I'm going to bring it downwards a bit. Hell. Yes, this will have to come down a bit. Something like that. Yes. Unhide all. Camera. So I need to be sure that this and this are touching one another because they're supposed to be the same material. So I'm going to select this and this, then hide unselected top view. Okay, so yes, this is like this because in this case we receded the beam. If the beam had been flush with the stairs, this one too would have been flush here, but so this is intentional. But now I know that this place they're flush, which is good. Now I just need to be sure from the hell when I press this. Okay, now there's a problem here. There's a disconnect here. So let me take this and move it upwards. Then the vertex. Yes. So I'm just going to draw something for reference now. Yep. Then I'm going to bring it down. I don't need it for anything else other than for reference. Yes, so I need this to, top view to come forward. L. So now I'm going to take this vertex or vertices, and I'm going to drag here. Yes, so now I can delete this. I only did that because I wanted this thickness to be uniform all through. So on hide all, now this beam will have to recede. Go in this way, then let me hide the fence, hide this, then I'll select the beam again. Where is it? Is this the beam? Yes. It's going to go in this way. Yes. It is a second beam. Yeah, that's the second beam. It's going to go in as well. Yes. And down here too. So this slim one is the ceiling. So when we come to camera 2, Control S, and then let's render again. You need to understand that as designers, we care so much as detail. Sorry, we care so much about details as well. It's important that the parts are interconnected. It's important that they look as you would want them to look in real life. All right. Like I said, I'm not an architect, I'm not a structural engineer, but with the knowledge that I have garnered over the years as a building contractor and by liaising with other engineering works, I have been able to know what particles were. But even at that, this building would not be approved if it was not evaluated by an architect, if it was not evaluated by a structural engineer or a civil engineer. It depends, right? Some places in Nigeria now, I know a university close to me that they offer civil engineering as an undergraduate course, and then structural engineering is a graduate course. So a civil engineer is taught the basics of structural engineering, but at master's level, then they go into structural engineering proper. So for this building to stand, for it's believed globally that for you to make a building stand, particularly complex buildings, a civil engineer, a structural engineer, and an architect must, all right, they must be part of it. If you are building a shed, yeah, it's no problem. But for things like this, it's not just for me to design and say, you know, I've done it, all right. But a structural engineer would calculate the thickness of the reinforcement, all right, how much beams, stir-up spacing, etc. So if I were when I'm done with this, I'm still going to send this. If this were a proper building project, this is a tutorial anyway. If this were a proper building project, this would still have to go through an architect and a structural engineer, and then they would give the okay. All right. Some of them could say, okay, go and change this, change that, change that. Then you would make the changes. They would check again, or change this again. Change. Now at the end, they would have to put their own stamp and signatures, showing that, oh, we have seen this from beginning to the end, and then they approve. And then I'm, as a designer, what I'm trying to focus on, I'm trying to see the interplay of the parts and then the visual appeal. Now, there is still the part of the structural engineer where there is also the MEP, the engineer that handles the mechanical, the electrical, and the plumbing. They will also still have to draw 2Ds. All right, they would have to draw this same building in 2D. Those are the ones that will guide everybody that will be on site. This mainly shows the visual appeal so that the client can say, oh, wow, this is nice. This is what my building will look like eventually. Wonderful. You need this also for building approval, but this itself will not determine, all right, will not determine how a building comes to play. In this one now, we don't have the measurements. In the 2D drawing, the front elevation, the aerial elevation, the left elevation, right elevation, back elevation, you would have measurements, often in millimeters. Those are the ones that would guide people on, okay, place the pillar here, place the formwork here. So what I am focused on as a designer is, even though I have a knowledge of how structures come together, how parts, how beams and columns work, that is not enough. This building will not be approved if an architect does not draw what he should draw, if an MEP engineer does not draw what he should draw, if a structural engineer does not draw what he should draw and write their own comprehensive notes. So now you can see we have the white. Yes, it's a seamless flow now. So I'm going to use the same aluminum panel texture to embellish this, and I'm going to give this maybe a stone, a marble feel, the stairs itself. So let's stop this now and let's get on with it. Let's go back to default shading, M, so apply this here. I'm opening Corel Draw. I want to create a marble texture. Yes, that's it. So let's take this documents, marble texture. Let's remove the outline. Let's do it again. Marble texture. So let's go back to 3ds Max. Corona physical material. Bitmaps. Let's go to library, documents, marble texture. So there you have it. Oops, so sorry. My 3ds Max crashed. I'm restarting. I think I can close this now. Close this. File. Close. File. Continue. I use a 16 gig RAM computer, so, and it's a laptop. It's not all that powerful, so it takes so long a time for some of these things to open or for the changes to be effected. So this is what we were working on. This material. Let's start over. Corona physical material. Bitmap. Library documents. The new house project. Marble texture. Okay. There it is. So let's go up here. The roughness, because it's marble, let's say 0.4. And top view. Then I apply it here. That's it. That's a marble slab. So now we're going to take this and we're going to apply it. Or you know what, let's just attach everything and take one editable poly and attach. Okay, I think one is missing here. L view. Is it missing? Or is it there? I think it's there. Top view. Oh no, it's not there. L view. So okay, top view. Just keep attaching. I don't know what this is. Element. No. This. Okay, I think it's frozen. On freeze all. Oh, okay. So let's return this. And now we have the stairs. So this, let's give it the marble. This portion, let's give it this color. Yes. Okay, so we have you want to see what it looks like? There you have it. So when you, because the cars are parked here, that's why I have the stairs on the side of the building. So you just come down and voila, you go to the vehicles. So now let's add framing, balustrades to the stairs. Let's take this, duplicate it. Front view. This is glass only. Top view. Let's move the locus to the center. I press 0. Allows me to move the locus. So top view. There you have it. Then shift and drag. Rotate 90 degrees. Sorry. Selected the wrong thing. We're still working with the glass panels. There's no framing there yet. L. So we move this way. Alright. Then we duplicate it. Shift and drag. Then you take this and you move it down like this. top view. Where is it located? Okay, so because it's here, it means that there should be a gap. So it can't, it has to go up something like this. Now will this work? No, I think we're gonna have to, we have it outside. Control Z. So let's take it outside here. Oh, sorry. Let's move all of this outside. Yes. That way, L, we can, or which is fine now. Should we do this? Now, the problem is if I do it this way. Okay, let's try this and bring this down. Yeah, I think this works. Yes, this works. So we can return it. Let the X values, Control A, Control C. Selecting this, Control A, Control C. I'm copying the X values of the first one. Control A, Control V, enter. Yes, good. So here, L for left view. So take this, shift and drag. So let's take this way and this way. I'm guessing I may have to delete this and use this one. Yes. Okay. Move it upwards a bit. Move it Y. Yes. So let's duplicate this again. Shift and drag. Zoom in. Shift and drag. Control Z. Yes. And I'm going to have to tweak this a bit because they're starting to touch the stairs. Something is wrong. I think I'm going to have to draw just one. Let me extend this one downwards. So then, yes. Although you can't have a glass panel this long, I know, but I want to use this as a guide. Okay, so now all of this can come downwards this way. Yes. And then I can raise this way. Now to be sure that they are the same height, I'm going to draw a box here. I'm going to draw a box here. You can see. Going to the top view. That's the box I drew. I'll move it forward this way. Then go to here. That's the box. And I'm going to bring the box down here. You can see. Now, this matches the base of that. So now I'm going to move this vertex. The vertex is up here. I'm going to move them upwards like this. So now what it means is that I have drawn a perfect parallelogram. This side equals this side. Now I'm going to break the glass panel. Let's say into 1, 2, 3. Let's break it into 4. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7, we're going to draw a panel, a box here. Going to make it pretty slim. All right. As a panel, so top view, bring it out. Yes, L. Then count another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I'm going to shift and drag. Sorry. Shift and drag. Let's be sure it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next one. Yes, then shift and drag again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 7 should be here. So now I'm going to use this to break these long panels into 4. So I'm going to select this, compound objects, Pro Boolean, start picking, pick this, you can see, pick this, and pick this. Now, just like that, we have 4 panels. So I used the Pro Boolean tool to break this long panel of glass into 4. That's just what I did. I was having issues. I tried to design this first, then move this, but I was having issues. I needed a perfect parallelogram, so which I achieved by drawing a box here to make sure that the vertices here and this here match this versus this. So I now broke them by drawing boxes, 3 boxes, just to cut through this large panel of glass. So now I have 4 panels, which I can now break if I need to. I'm not going to break it because there's no point, but at least visually it shows that there's a break. So whoever will be bringing the panels already knows that I'm bringing 4 panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we now have 5 and 6. So that's it. So now we are going to draw the framing. The framing, like what we have front view, like what we have here, this black. Yes, we're going to draw that now. So shift and drag. Okay. Editable poly, vertices, this way. Let's move the locus. Yes. Let's duplicate it. You can see just like what we have here. So to be sure, copy the Control A, Control C. Will it work? Yes, then let me take this small one and bring it here. Okay, then take this again, bring it here. And then the LV, let's take one here, this way. Top view, is it where we need it? This will have to move inwards. Yes. So I'm going to copy the X values, Control A, Control C. Then I'm going to take this one to this very long one. Control A, Control V, enter. Good. So now I'm going to take this L view, put another one here. Okay, let's put another one here. Middle. Okay. Let's take this and edit, clone, copy. Make sure it's on copy. Rotate 90 degrees. Go to the top view. You can see L. Vertices. They're going this way. Yes. and then you can duplicate it, shift and drag. It's coming down. Yes. Ctrl Z. Now let's take this, shift and drag. That's what I did. Shift and drag. Let's come here. Okay. Sorry. The Y value. Now we're going to press L. Sorry, O allows us to move the locus. Now I'm going to put the locus. Where should it be? Yes, somewhere here. Then I'm going to press 0. Sorry. Press 0. I've pressed 0. Then now I rotate this. You can see. So this is the turning point. This is the turning point. So I just need to keep rotating till I get to where I'm going. Yes, something like that. Okay, so editable poly. We're going to work on that end later. Let's move this here. And then we can duplicate it. Shift and drag. Shift and drag. Shift and drag. So let's cut it. This is where it ends. Standard box. I'm going to draw a box here. Top view, moving the box. I just want to use the Pro Boolean tool again so that I'll get a very clean cut. So editable poly. This box is just to help me cut that long rod. That's all. So left view again. Then we select this guy. Compound object, Pro Boolean, start picking, and I pick this. Now it has cut. You can see the smooth cut. That's all. That's why I needed the ping box. So editable poly. Now I'm going to attach all of it. Attach to this. Attach to this. Attach to this. To this. Are we there yet? Yes. And now I noticed, I think we're, yeah, it can still come down a little. So I'm going to click it. Let me just take this to, I don't select it. Good. So now I take this, press the L, sorry, the O, so that I can move the locus here again. Right here. Then I can press 0 again. Then I can rotate. No, it's coming down. It's too much. Nope. Yes. And then we can just use editable poly to tweak it. Yes. There you have it. On hide all. So hide the fence again. Take this. Then I shift and drag. Okay, now let me clean up this edge. This. Now ordinarily I can just take this vertex and move it, but it's going to mess this up. So what I think I'm going to do is, let me edit, edit, clone. Okay. Then take the vertex of this one and then move it this way. Now I have to move it to kind of match this one. Alrighty, so then I take this, the vertices here, this way. Then I bring it down to match this one. Now I can hide this, hide selection, and delete this one, which I use as reference. Then go to unhide all. Good. So same thing here. Edit, clone. Okay. Then I move this way. Make sure it's touching this. Yes, that's the reference point. Then this way. Then cut. A welder would be the one to do this, but I want it to match, so that's why I'm going through all the stress. So hide this, hide selection, then I delete this, then I unhide all. So now we take this small one and then we shift and drag it. Okay. Now we vertex, so you touch here. This will go up here. This will go like this. This will go. All this would be cut by a welder or a fabricator, whatever name you want to call it. Whoever is going to build the framing would be the one to do this. All this would be done in situ, on site. And then the last one down here. So we are done with the staircase. Took a while, but let's hit render. Control S and let's render it. It's going to take a while for it to show realistically, photorealistically, because I'm using a system that's not too powerful. But I think you get the gist. We have kind of a cantilevered stair system. All right. Each of the stairs is cantilevered by 9 inches to the right, and then there are 2 beams underneath the stairs that carry them, and then the stair landing itself also has beams, a DC chain beam system to carry the stair landing. And then I now apply the marble texture to the stairs. Now, if you were building it and you had access to building to a marble slab that was 6 inches thick, yes, they could cut it for you with there are these gigantic saws that are constantly watered down, just to reduce friction and to reduce the heat on the blades. They're gigantic saws. If you check YouTube, you see them. They cut large slabs of marble. They can cut these marble slabs for you. And then, so when you're done with the beam, you just attach some, the welder would build some 45-degree or 30-degree, depending on the angle of the stairs. They would build some rails on which you would now bolt each of the slabs. That could work. But you could also cast all of this as concrete and then place them, or, which I think is better, I think the one that's best is they build the formwork of the beam, the daisy chain system, and the stairs together. And then you cast it. When you're done filling everything with concrete and rebar, then they can apply the marble. Yeah, you can now get marble porcelain tiling and then apply marble texture on it. But that's it. And I designed the stairs here so that whoever's coming could have access to the cars quite easily. We don't have the gate systems yet. I think that will be in a separate video. I'm sorry this video is long. I always like to explain properly. I'm going to be deleting this because I didn't plan to put stairs originally. So now I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. But I think you get the gist. If we decide to wait under 30 minutes, you see everything come out. You see all the details. But I think the video is too long already. You can see the cars reflecting on the aluminum panels. So thank you so much for watching. Let me just delete this before I forget. We can have this break there again. Yes, and this. So now there should be Torah of easy access. Oh, I think I deleted something I shouldn't have. Okay, so let's take this, delete it, delete it, delete, delete. And delete. So there you have it. I think in the next video we're going to create windows. Oh, sorry. Windows should be here. All we have here are doors. We're going to have windows here, the entire length of the house. We're going to have the entire width of the house. We're going to have windows in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.